fisherman's wife. They live by the shore down in Trinity Bay, near 40 years of their life. Well, there are pots to pull and socks to mend, with the children growing every day. The time sped by like the wink of an eye, but the memories are here to stay. So come on home to Newfoundland, sit back and have a cup of tea, and take a walk to the other side where the fishing boat used to be. Yes, set your sails for Newfoundland across the mighty sea. You're sure to find the people there are the friendliest for some meats. Summer was a time for me. Up for the dawn, Grandma stuck in the stove, cooking bacon, eggs, toast, and tea. With a coffee and a spit, we'd be on our way by Grandpa, my uncle, and me. Throw out the line, jig 'em in, got the catch, and load her up and head her back for 3. So come on home to Newfoundland, sit back and have a cup of tea, and take a walk to the other side where the fishing boat used to be. Yes, set your sails for Newfoundland across the mighty sea. You're sure to find the people there are the friendliest for some meats. Yes, you're sure to find the people there are the friendliest for some meats.
Good afternoon and welcome once again to the Alumni Special. It's a real privilege for me to welcome a special guest, alumna, musician, and outreach worker for our new Mountreach program, Cheryl Gaudet. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thanks, Dilly.
That's a great tune. That's one of your own, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And written for somebody pretty special by the sounds of it.
I wrote it for my grandparents last summer when I was home, and regretfully to say that my grandmother passed away just a couple weeks ago. But I'd like to send it out to my grandfather, Mac Hollett in Trinity Bay, Newfoundland.
Oh, that's a great tune, and I'm sure that our viewers in Newfoundland will enjoy hearing that.
I hope so.
Just by way of some background on you, Cheryl, I know that I've been lucky enough to hear you perform on many occasions and in all kinds of different settings. I know that recently you've done some radio work with CBC Radio, and that there are probably lots of bigger and better things coming up too. We're very happy to have you with us here today. I wanted to talk to you a bit about music and Mountreach and your connection with the Mount. When did you first start here?
1981. Yeah, 81.
I understand that some members of your family also attended the Mount.
My mother and 2 sisters and I at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of special.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Tell me, when you first, I remember my first recollection of seeing you here at the Mount was at the English Corner in the Seton Academic Center. And at that time we were working on Godspell.
Right.
I think we were doing the play then. And you brought your guitar to the English Corner, as a couple of people were doing at that time. Mm-hmm. And we had a couple of jam sessions and so on. Did you think at that time that your music would take you as far as it has here in the...
Well, I always thought my music would take me somewhere. You know, I didn't know where, but I knew it would take me somewhere. It's always with me. Mm-hmm. So it's going where I go, I guess. Mm-hmm. Or it's taking me to where I'm going, whichever.
Yeah. Now, since that time, I know that you worked on the Godspell production, certainly, and but that ongoing throughout those years here at the Mount, that you were also involved with the chaplaincy team.
Right. Yeah, Patricia Venedam and myself directed the choir for the last 4 years. I believe Pat has done it for 7 years, and I just went to the chaplaincy when I got at the Mount in 81. So we've been doing that. We're both retired this year, however.
They're a special group of people, though, aren't they?
Oh, they're wonderful.
Not just the chaplains themselves, but the kids.
Students.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're good. They're wonderful to work with. I know that my work through Alumni-sponsored events of different kinds has taken me in close contact with the chaplaincy team, and they really are a team.
Yeah, that's
and
for sure.
That's what really impressed me. And your music, of course, added so much to different things like the baccalaureate mass, the sunrise services. Oh, those wonderful sunrise services.
Getting up at 6 in the morning
Yeah,
trying to play the guitar.
You know, it's interesting. They were always, when they say they guarantee a sunrise.
I know.
Never a cloudy day, never
It's
rain.
amazing.
Yeah, and
especially from up on the hill, you can see the sun beautiful.
Yeah, the Mother House Hill offers a beautiful view of the sun rising over Halifax Harbour.
Yeah.
It's really quite spectacular. You've helped us out, the alumni, a number of times, both as a student and as an alumna, with our coffee houses that we hold. They're kind of special too, aren't they?
That's right. There's a lot of people that get involved, and there's a lot of good music that comes out. A lot of students here play and sing, and it's a good way for them to, you know, get out and get on the stage in front of friends. It's a good way to start.
It's kind of a special function because I remember the last you remember the last coffee house that we had during orientation?
Yeah.
Do you remember what one of the new students said to me when she was leaving? She said something like,
right, about hugs or something?
Yeah.
This makes me want to hug everybody.
Yeah, that's right. It gives you a nice warm feeling.
Yeah.
Anyway, your music has played a real special part in all of that. I know that just judging from the lyrics of that song that we've just heard, that you said was written especially for your grandparents, I know that I've been lucky enough to hear a lot of your original music, and hopefully you'll come back and join us on a special that will be dealing especially with your own music. But great. That you have a special attachment to people in general, but most particularly to the elderly. And I understand that your work has brought you in close contact with the elderly on different occasions. Not your current work with the Mount, although that does too, I know, but what are some of the other things that you've done?
Well, the first job I had when I got out of high school was a live-in personal care worker for a 60-year-old stroke victim. And that was just an incredible experience. That probably was my first experience with older people. But we really worked together in a good cooperative way, you know, and when he got home, he was in a wheelchair at first, and then by the time the summer was over, he was up walking with a quad cane. So, you know, it's just, you just have to respect each other. I think that's the main ingredient.
You've also done some work with the Canadian Paraplegic Association, haven't you?
Right. Yeah, I did worked in cooperation with a paraplegic on a stats update in the summer of '82. Now that dealt with all spinal cord injured persons in Nova Scotia. We did a wide range of stats updates on them, cause of accident, cause of injury, et cetera, you know, status, financial status and whatnot.
I remember one special project that you haven't really managed to get going yet, but I know that's pretty near to your heart, and that's the walk and roll idea that you had. I think that's really an interesting concept. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, what you'd like to see done with something like that?
Well, I'd like to implement some sort of a program where able-bodied people could work in cooperation with disabled people and make each other more aware of the realities of each other's lifestyles, and that they're really not that much different from the other.
When we first talked about that, I know you came to me to talk to me about it for a little bit to see what my thoughts were on it, and I remember thinking particularly at the time that your main thrust would be at the high school level to implement this program in high schools, that kids of that age would be exposed to the disabled and the able-bodied people working together. Interesting notion.
I've done 2 seminars in the high schools, and it seems like high school children, kids, young adults, whatever you want to call them, are very impressionable. And very eager and willing to want to understand what's going on and how can I help, kind of thing.
Right.
They're really keen.
Speaking of how can I help, I know that you're also involved with something that's initiated from the Alumni office, a new program. I've heard that it's the first in Canada, and it's called Mountreach.
That's right.
What can you tell us about that, Cheryl?
Well, the project began over a month and a half ago or so, and what it involves is myself going out into the alumni, senior alumni, single-parent alumni, and parents of alumni living outside the region, going out to their homes and just seeing if there's anything that we can do for them, from fixing the screen door to plugging them into things that are happening at the Mount, to things that are happening in the community. Sort of I'm a liaison person between the community, the Mount, and the alumni.
Great. And among the alumni themselves?
Among the alumni themselves,
You put them in touch with each other.
Right.
It's a great idea. I understand that the money for it is coming from a federal grant from the Department of Employment and Immigration, and that you also are getting some support from the Alumni Association as far as funding is concerned for some of your supplies and gasoline expenses and so on. What's it like, Cheryl, dealing with our senior alumni?
It's great. It was a little scary at first because I didn't really know what the response would be. There's a real sensitive issue here because a lot of them, they're not too willing to accept new ideas. They're a little nervous, say, about accepting these new ideas of young people going out and helping them. Like, who is this person? Should I let them in my house? And, you know, but that's pretty well to be expected of anybody, I think, a new project coming up. But after that's all over with, and you get down into the cups of tea and sitting at the kitchen table and reminiscing about the old days here at the Mount, it's just wonderful.
They're special women, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
They are wonderful. Yeah.
I know that one of the responses that I've received is that one of our senior alumni was made to feel very special because you put the emphasis on their contribution.
Yeah. Well, they are the ones that made the Mount what it is today. And we feel, the project people feel, that it's our turn to just turn the tables and reach out a helping hand that the Mount is so known for.
Is the program based on financial need?
None whatsoever. No,
not at all?
Not at all. It's a friendly hand reaching out to support one another in the community, basically. It's got nothing to do with financial or any kind of...
I understand that you're offering a support system for single-parent alumni as well.
Single-parent alumni, yeah.
Yeah.
They're a little more difficult to identify within the community, you know, because you don't have the... With seniors, it's a little easier because you have the age range, and we have them on statistics here on file of when they graduated. But single parent, it's a little harder to identify, but they're calling me, which is good.
Oh,
so
that's
they're
terrific.
hearing about it through each other.
That's
and calling in.
Good. And you're finding the response positive? Terrific. Yeah. I know that there are plans, this grant, this federal grant, does not unfortunately go on forever. In fact, I understand that it's going to be wrapping up in November at some time, but what's the future hold for Mountreach?
Well, we're hoping to continue it through another program, Job Strategy, it's called, and we'll put 2 or 3 people through a training program here at the Mount, which would include taking courses, say, gerontology, business, office management skills, communication skills, and whatnot, so that a person, once gone through that training program, will come out the other end as an employable person, hopefully zeroing in on the Mountreach, you know, fests.
Now, I understand that volunteers will play a key role in the program eventually.
Eventually, yeah, as soon as we get the ball rolling.
Yes.
A little more.
I see. Now, how do people apply for the program?
Well, there's no real application, but we have PSAs out about the program. We have posters up. We have some newspaper coverage and word of mouth. We sent a letter out to about 60, I'd say, senior alumni through the alumni office, introducing myself and saying that I would be in touch with them at a later date. And now that's what the stage I'm at, is calling the people and saying, hi, did you get my letter? And,
great.
You know, going like that.
That's good. So it looks like things may continue happening with Mountreach. What about your music? What's going to be going down there in the near future? Anything special?
I don't really know right now.
No?
This is kind of up in the air.
Are you writing some new tunes?
I'm writing some new tunes.
Good, and we'll look forward to hearing some of them probably not in the not too distant future. We'll have to get another coffee house happening. The kids would love it. I know, but I'm being asked all the time.
In the halls, when are we going to have another coffee house?
Right, yeah, they really seem to enjoy it. I know that. I think it's an interesting way of reaching out and touching people through music and through a kind of affection that you can only share on a one-to-one basis over a cup of tea or whatever. And I really I appreciate you coming here today, Cheryl, and talking to us. I know that we'll probably be hearing a lot more from you. Hopefully we'll get you back. I'm planning to do some more along this series featuring our alumni in the performing arts, so I hope that we'll be able to welcome you back again and hear some more of your original music.
Okay.
In the meantime, I'm welcoming you all now to enjoy a bit more of Cheryl's music and to remind you that we'll be here on the Alumni Special throughout the week, and I'm Dilly MacFarlane, thanking you once again.